Okay, it's going. Hello, my name is Andrea. I'm sitting here with my grandma, Nellie Serrano. The date is December 8th, 2019, and we're recording this interview in my new house in Berwyn, Illinois. Thank you for being my interviewee today, coming out to my house. It's really nice, really nice. So how was your day today, Grandma?
Good.
What'd you do?
hmm
What'd you do?
What did I do? I went to Mitchell Museum for the Indian Arts Festival. Then I went home. Then I came here to visit the new house.
The Indian Arts Festival. What was there?
What was there?
Yeah.
They had Native American craftsmen there that had silverwork, beading, and it was a festival where they were selling like a little market.
Why did you go?
I go every time they have one because I just go to visit some of the people I know there.
So, being Native is like your main heritage culture?
Yes, I'm full-blooded Navajo.
Um, what is it? Do you feel like the Navajo population is declining or increasing?
It's increasing.
How?
How?
Yes.
There's everybody's, I guess the population's beginning to be more. Out in the southwest, the small cities are becoming larger. And there you can see when you go out there, there's more children there.
That's nice. Do people more prefer the term Native American or Indian?
Native American,
Why?
because they consider people from India Indian, and we're Native American because we're from America, but we're native here.
I see. So, do you think your culture defines you?
Does it define me? What do you mean by that?
Like, your culture it makes you do, how do I explain? It affects your day-to-day life.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It's like every other life. We live day to day. We get up in the morning, we do what we gotta do, just like everybody else.
What has your culture taught you in life?
What has my culture? My culture has taught me a lot. I knew my grandparents, they taught us a lot to respect everybody and to respect the land because, you get back what you put in the land.
Do you think people should start living by that?
Yes, I do. There wouldn't be so much pollution. There wouldn't be so much garbage in the sea,
Yeah, people would just realize. What are you most proud of?
What am I what?
Most proud of?
Most proud of? I guess just being me and my children. I've taught them what Native American, my tribe, and there's certain things like different religion and stuff like that. They know that.
Do you think your culture would affect your religious life?
No.
Hello. Is there something about yourself that you think nobody knows?
Did I what?
Is there something about you that you think nobody knows? Or about your culture that not a lot of people know?
No. No.
Hello. Bella. Okay. When and where were you born?
I was born on the Navajo Reservation. I was born at home, and I was raised there until I was 3 years old.
Do you remember what it was like on the Navajo Reservation?
Yes, I do. I go there every year. It's stressful. I mean, a lot of people don't have running water or electricity, gas. They have to rely on the environment there, like wood for heating and water. They have to haul their own water from windmills and stuff like that. Yeah, so I know how it is. I've lived there, before on the Indian reservation.
That's good. Um, what would you describe yourself like as a child living on the reserve?
I don't know. My life was, as a child, was like every other normal child, happy. My parents made sure we had what we needed and that we were happy.
Is it fun there? Do they have a lot of fun there? Is it fun there at the reserve?
Yes, it is fun because you have the open country, you have livestock, where in the city you don't. A lot of kids don't experience how it is to ride a horse or, see new sheep, little baby lambs being born and stuff. They've never experienced that.
I think those are some good life experiences to have. Okay. Let's see. Oops. I've run out of questions on my paper. Let's resort to this one. Is there schooling schooling, like grade school and high school?
Yes.
Reserve?
There used to be a thing called boarding school where many years ago they took the children away from the parents so they could put them in school. And it was a boarding school. Just like you drop kids off and then you wait till they could go home. They go home for a while and they go back to the school. In fact, I went there 1 year just to see how it was, and I guess my mom and dad figured I should experience it. That was when I was 10 years old.
How was the school?
The school on the reservation?
Yeah.
The boarding school? It was good. I was treated good. We were all treated good. We had like breakfast, lunch, dinner, and we had schooling. We had different activities. And we went to church on Sunday. They took us to church. There was a church nearby there, so we used to walk there. So it was just like a normal life.
Do you think that school would compare to a regular school in the city?
Yeah, it is a lot different. It's very, very different because what I know back then when I went, we respected everybody. Yeah, we respected everybody. We respected their beliefs. We all had chores to do, It wasn't really chores. It was just something that we wanted to do.
Did you, do you think love out there, like in the reserve, is different from the city love?
What do you mean, love?
Like the way people are towards each other.
Yes, it is. In my culture, we each one of us have kin. Me being that we call the elders either grandfather or grandparents, or if we know somebody that that we know, like an aunt, we call them aunt. And here they don't do that. Like if I was to come up to a stranger or, an elder person, I would, talk to them, but, you're generous as it is, but you don't come out and call them grandmother or grandfather because they don't like that.
Because it's like not the closeness of the community.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, I see. How did you meet your husband?
I met my husband when I had come back from New Mexico. My dad used to take us every year for his vacation. We used to go out there and visit my grandparents. And one day my cousin moved down the street from us, and I said, well, I'm going to go to my cousin. So I went through the alley. I was, back then the alleys were clean. I mean, everything was safe, And I'm walking through the alley, and I went to where my cousin lived. There was very high fence there, and the gate used to open both ways. So when I was going there, I went to push the gate and somebody else was pushing on the other side. So I pushed again and that person pushed it back. And then I waited and nobody pushed, so I pushed, and that's when I first seen my husband. We were 7 years old.
Oh wow, that's really young, but that's so sweet. How did you know he was the one?
How did I know he was the one? I don't know. It was like we grew up together. We became teenagers, and the neighborhood was all like not together. The whole street, we were like the neighborhood kids. We all hanged out in somebody's house, or we were out front, or in the yard. We all played softball and stuff like that. So we all got along. We were all friends. To this day, I have some of those kids I grew up with as my friends.
Do you still have friends on the reserve?
Hmm?
Do you still have friends at the reserve?
My friends.
Do you have friends there at the reserve?
Yes, I have friends here that I grew up with.
What do you do for a living?
What do I do for a living? I'm retired right now.
What did you do for a living?
What did I do? Well, for the first few years after we got married, my husband preferred me to stay home and watch the kids. Made sure they went to school and he did all the work and everything. After that, I volunteered at a school by the house as my youngest one got older. I volunteered there. After that, I stayed home, and then it just dawned on me to get a job. So my husband was against it, but I got a job. I started working at a retail. Oh no, I started working at a corner pharmacy. I worked there as a cashier and stocking and stuff. That's when my son was going to school. But I worked like from 10 in the morning to 2 right before he got out of school. Then I would go home, wait for him to come home. After he got older, I went and started working for a retail store.
What is your religion?
What did I what?
What is your religion?
What is my age?
Religion.
Religion, I'm Catholic.
Catholic.
But I'm also with the Native American Church.
You think those beliefs ever clash together, making one not
No.
believable?
No, they do not clash. They all believe in there's one God. So.
Have you ever experienced any miracles?
Miracles? Yes, I did one time. It was like a hard time in my life for me. And my daughter was pregnant. Your grandmother was pregnant. And she had been feeling bad, so I told her she could sleep with me in my bed. While we were sleeping in bed, something woke me up, like a sense of being there. And when I looked towards my door where it came into my bedroom, I thought I seen like an angel, something white there glowing. And it just went from one end of the house, the room, it went through my daughter and it went through me and it went back out. So I think that was a miracle.
So
Something telling us everything would be all right.
that sounds really weird. Do you believe in an afterlife?
Afterlife? In a way I do, in a way I don't, It's with my culture it's different, and like the Catholic life, they say there is afterlife, but in a way I do think there is afterlife.
How would you describe your ethnic background, all the Navajo?
My ethnic.
Your Navajo background.
My Navajo background, I don't know, there's not much difference from people that live every day.
I can see that. Where's your mom's family from?
Where does my mom come from?
Yeah.
She came from New Mexico, And she was born out there too, and she was raised out there mostly all her life. She lived in Chicago for a while with us while we were little, because my dad he entered a program that was called a relocation program in the 50s. And my dad moved up here, moved all of us up here so he could get a job, a better job, because out there was no jobs. So he moved us up here. My mom came. We all lived in a house, and he worked, and we went to school.
Uh, did your family ever used to tell any stories?
Stories like what?
Like any type of stories? Like,
Yeah, there was all kinds of stories. Like when my mom, she used to tell us about my grandparents, or when she was younger, and all kinds of stuff like that. My dad also.
So this is all the same?
Mhm.
Did they have any like special songs on the reserve, like how we sing lullabies to babies or stuff like that?
Yes, they had all kinds of songs. They had songs like if you pass through a mountain, mountain songs. They had horse songs. They had like you say, lullabies. They had all kinds of songs.
So life on the reserve is kind of like the same as city life.
Living on the reservation and city life, there is a difference, small difference. Yeah.
All right, that's all I have for you today.
Okay.
Thank you for being my interviewee, Grandma. Again, it is December 8th, 2019. We are in my house in Berwyn, and that's it.
What minutes is her?
7.
Only 17?
Yeah.
I feel like forever.